Hey, what's going on? I'm Jim from www.unblindforlife.blogspot.com, and this is a little segment I'm going to call the Bunk Free Zone. I'm getting kind of tired of all these debunking videos and articles. Not that people don't have a right to make them. It's just that it seems like they do very little research, or they pick out one or two things in the entire haystack of evidence, and they try to hit it with their own little spin. And like I said, a lot of times it lacks any kind of research, or they're looking at things through rose-colored glasses. It's real easy for all of us to see what we want to see when we want to see it that way, so you have to keep an open mind. So today I wanted to talk about Zeitgeist. If you have not seen the movie, you need to see it. It covers the first movie covers some big elements: theology, religion, and 9/11, of course. You can't have a conspiracy movie without that in there nowadays. And it covers money, specifically the Federal Reserve and the fiat money system in this country. But I wanted to address the debunking of the movie, because the debunking promptly stops usually after they've attempted to talk about the first segment and the astrotheology that's presented there. So here's what they like to talk about almost always. The first topic they'll bring up is the fact that the Southern Cross is not visible from the Northern Hemisphere. That's not true. If you go get some free software, you can download 6-7 different programs on the web that will allow you to pull up the night sky with all the stars and constellations and show you the night sky from any position on the face of the planet at any time in history, past or future. So the fact is that the Southern Cross was visible in the Northern Hemisphere as far north as Greece up until about 1000 AD, give or take. So let's quit talking about that, because you don't know what you're talking about. The second thing they like to say is that how can the sun quit rising because we're in an elliptical orbit around the sun. Well, let's not be totally idiotic here. The point is that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west every day, and as winter approaches, its arc that it makes in the sky as it travels becomes lower and lower and lower until about December 22nd it reaches its lowest point in the sky, and each day for 3 days it stays at that lowest level. It stays at that lowest point in the sky as it transgresses our sky, as it passes through our sky. And on the 25th of December, it starts marching back the other way. So it rises up about a degree and continues that way the rest of the year until Easter, when it all starts over again. So let's not talk about that anymore. The one thing, and you can search on the other, you can do research on the other gods that came way before Christianity and find out that that's all true too. And I won't bring that up in detail, because usually the debunkers never get that far. They usually get to those first two things and they quit. So I'm done with Zeitgeist, pretty much, except for one thing. It's one thing I can't verify. In the movie, he shows that sun being at the lowest point in the sky, sitting right on he says in the movie that it's on the Southern Cross. I can't verify that. Not with software and not with research. Now, I can tell you that with software, the Southern Cross is visible in the sky in an area near, but off to the east of where the sun would be, like it's a sunset. I can't verify it. Was it part of an old story? Could be. But I don't know where that comes from. I don't know where he got that information. If somebody knows, please leave me a comment or send me a video response or something and send me in the right direction, because I'd like to be able to verify that. Some of the things that they like to talk about are the fact that the 3 stars in Orion's belt are not called the 3 kings or what have you. That's not true. They have been called the 3 kings going far back as ancient Egypt, and the 3 pyramids there in ancient Egypt are almost perfectly aligned with those 3 stars. and their size ratios are in ratio with the brightness of each one of those stars, and they're named after 3 Egyptian kings. So, and if you look with the software or go outside, you can see that roughly to the naked eye, if you were telling a story to your kid 8,000 years ago, that those 3 stars in Orion's belt, the 3 kings, they follow Sirius. You can look right through the star Sirius, and using again software, you can see that a rough line through those to the horizon is really, really close to where the sun's going to rise the next day on December 25th. So that's all verifiable, and I don't have issue with it. I do have issue with 1 point, and I'm still working on that one. But that 1 point isn't enough for me to say that I'm going to debunk the entire movie and not take the rest of the material in the movie at face value, or at least do my own research. So till next time, maybe we'll talk about 9/11 a little bit. That ought to get everybody riled up. It usually does. Stay on Blind for Life.